Yo guys, welcome back to another League Racing video on the channel. Today we are here with UFRL round number 4 at Portimao, the worst circuit on every single F1 game, every single year. This is the easily worst track on the entire calendar. It is easily my worst track. So we're already on damage limitation and that mindset going into this race. We are currently, I think that's about 25 points off of Hazer and P1 in the championship. We are currently sat third place. Link's piece is only 3 points behind Hazer, so about 22 points behind Link's and 25 behind Hazer. And I'm not expecting to gain any points in this round. I'm fully just trying to maybe get a P4, maybe just see if we can even stick close to the leading group and just try and lose as little points as possible and then try and make them up in later rounds. We are going to get us a little bit of a slipstream though on our final lap of qualifying from our teammate who is currently down 16th unfortunately. And then on the exit we get a massive snap and easily already down 3 tenths, even 4 tenths now, and the lap is easily done already. The lap is completely over. And I did forget to start recording earlier on in the quali session, so that's why you didn't see the actual lap I set. But somehow it's still a P4. We are half a second off a P1 though, which is not good at all. The gap between P1 and P2, between Hazer and Pucci, is only 2 milliseconds, which is crazy close. They are definitely the challengers for the lead and race win today. But as I said, it is damage limitation. We are going to try and see if we can stick to maybe a P4. Maybe if we're lucky, we get on the podium. But there is very little confidence going into this race. But it is 5 red lights and away we go for UFRL round number 4. We get an okay start. We about cover off Sniper Sai behind us. Poem does not get much of a jump. Link's piece is going side by side with Pucci. There's slight contact out of turn 1. And we are going to try and take the move. We lock up a little bit, we go run a little bit deep, we lock wheels with Links. Sniper Sai's now around the outside, a little bit of contact made, but we do manage to get up into P3 and past Links. But unfortunately, you can see in the top left with the timings, we're already out of DRS just because of the stupid car physics in this game. We have locked wheels with Links and lost so much time, and the gap is already at 1.3, and if we're going to try and keep on to DRS, we are going to need to catch 4 tenths on Pucci up ahead. We're using as much battery as we can, just trying to see if we can even stay near him. But the time is only going down, or going up, whatever you want to say. But it is now 1.5 seconds the gap. We lose the back end a little bit going into the final few corners. And out the final corner, it is now 6 tenths behind the DRS zone. And it is looking like we aren't going to be able to catch up nearly as much as we needed to try and stick with the group. So now it's already looking like it'll be a fight for P3 or there around, like it's P3, P4, just in this sort of vicinity. It is looking like this is the maximum already, unless we manage to pull a safety car at some point and bring the gap that close. But that is just from the first few corners, just from bad game physics. We have already been limited to a P3 finish. The gap is now already nearly at 2 seconds. So unfortunately, we will be looking for a P3. But as long as we can finish ahead of Lynx, we will be okay in the championship. We will still be in the fight because he is a few points ahead of us, but we just need to try and gain some points. But on lap 3, he is going to have the DRS and he's just going to fly past. At the first proper time of asking for him, we nearly get track limits warning, but we just manage to avoid it. But we are just going to try and stick with him now. We're about the same pace as him in the race, and we're just going to need to basically keep with him. And maybe we can just keep jumping each other. We're going to fake a little bit of a move, but it was never really on. So we're not actually going to be going for a serious move into... I need to just learn to turn. It's turn 5. There you go. I know that now. But on to lap 5 now. Skipping a few laps ahead. We managed to stick behind him. But we are just going to make the move. We're on very low ERS, but we do manage to make the move down the inside into turn 1 and easily make it by. He isn't going to send it into turn 3, which is much appreciated. That is a horrible place to go for a send. So throughout the entire race, we're going to hope that when we overtake someone, they will not do anything stupid and ruin both our races even more than they already are. But you can see in the top left, 5 laps into the race, we're already 4.5 seconds behind P2. And got moving ahead 3 more laps. We're at 5.6, 5.7, as Lynx is now going to make the move, and he is just easily going to get past. With ease, it is not going to be a fight. The DRS is very powerful in this game, and combined with the ERS, it is very easy to make some overtakes. And there is really only one overtaking opportunity on this track, and that is into turn 1 on the first straight. But moving on to lap 9, we are going to use our ERS, and the DRS is just going to carry us by. We're going to move to the outside, and we're going to make the pass on Link's piece. And I didn't mention this at the start during qualifying, but Young Lights, who is currently sat in P5, he started last in this race. He had to serve a qualifying ban, which is basically just I don't know what's it called. It's just basically something this league has where every single team has to take an engine penalty, and they'll have to start last on the grid, somewhat like real life. But he, after 13 laps, is already within DRS of ourselves as Lynx get past. Lights is just behind us, and he is absolutely flying at the minute. He has just picked up a 3-second penalty, though, which might come in handy for us later on in the race. But it is just, he's flying right now. He's already on the back of us. It's 1/10. He's already pulling to the inside. He's got so much more grip. He's got so much more confidence on the tyres. We are going to try and brake late, but he is also just going for the move, and he's probably going to have better traction, but it is side by side on exit. But in the second phase, he does manage to pull ahead, and he has made the move and up into P4. He goes a little bit deep, so we think about going for the move into turn 8, but we decide not to, because it would have been stupid. He just shut the door, and he realistically isn't in our fight right now. He has got so much more pace. I fully expect him to pass Lynx relatively soon, and he should be flying ahead, and he should be up with the leaders very soon. He is showing some incredible pace at the minute. It's just that 3 seconds that might come out to bite us. We're struggling on tyre wear. We nearly lose the back end, and luckily we didn't. But right now, onto the main straight through the long downhill right. Lynx trying to break the DRS a little bit, break the slipstream even. But we are going to be using all our battery to maybe try and overtake Lynx with Lights, as Lights has got so much extra pace, but he hasn't managed to catch up and overtake Lynx into turn 1. So Lynx manages to last another few corners, or another lap. But you can just see how much more grip and confidence Lights has. He's on the exact same age and type of tyre compound as us, but he's got so much more grip. Slight contact as Lights goes for the move up into turn 5. Lynx tries to hold it around the outside, but he doesn't quite manage to. And now we are just sitting back into the rhythm we should be in. Lynx runs a little bit deep. He goes wide and he nearly comes back and spins us out on the track, but we do manage to get past, and now we are going to really be desperately trying to stick in the DRS of Lights. We did manage to on the last lap. Lynx is still sat behind us, but we lose the back end. We nearly spin. We have to catch it twice, and that's definitely going to let Lights run away with the DRS. And Lynx is going to make the move back past us. He is flashing. He is somewhat low on the ERS, or he is charging. We also have locking on the front tyres into the long right-hander, and we are just really struggling, even more so than we were. Our tyres have got no grip on them, and I do believe this lap we will be boxing for some hard tyres, and hopefully we will be able to stick with some people and maybe, hopefully, stick within the 3 seconds of Lights. But he is already 2 seconds up the road, and he's going to stay out. We're going to follow Lynx in. We're going to look for a move, but luckily we managed to not speed. I was quite fearful that I was going to end up speeding into the pit lane then, which would have given us a 10-second penalty that would have mudded the race so much more than it had to be. We come out the pits and we nearly jump Lynx, not really sure how, but we come out the pits and we are ghosting like right on him. But we do manage to come out in front of the cars that are staying out, that are a bit further down the order, the 2 Aston Martins of Coffee and Smale. Luckily we came out in front of them. They should not be a threat, as we've now got the fresh tyres. They are still running on old mediums, and Lights is weaving around, I think, to signal that he wants to work together, or maybe he has just wiggled around for a little bit, but I just reciprocate the feeling that I do want to work together with him. And we don't really want to be fighting too hard because we are really far back, and it is not in either of our best interests to fight and hold each other up. Lap 20 though, a few laps after we pitted, maybe 5 laps after, the weather has changed. It is looking a bit more gloomy, but rain was not forecasted before the race, so it isn't likely that there'll be rain, but you never know in the F1 game. Something could happen. You know, EA, Codemasters just mess something up. But either way, we make it past Lynx and we're now up into P7. But we cut ahead 8 laps because nothing happened. Lynx just sat behind, and you can see the gap to lights ahead is now 17 seconds. And Salty Stevens is making a move on Lynx and myself. He does run a little bit deep. We're going for a switchback, side by side through turns 1 and 2, and we are going to keep it up the inside into turn 3. He's going to try and keep it side by side, which he does through turn 4. We leave him a lot of space, and we do manage to get past. He did have a snap of the rears and lost some time to Lynx, so he has fallen back behind. But Salty Stevens, even with a 3-second penalty, has now brought himself into the fight for possibly a P4, because he's got some insane pace at the minute. Not too sure like where that's come from, but that just shows how far back we are. But we managed to get a safety car with only 4 laps to go, and that 18-second gap to Hazer and the leading cars has instantly going to come down to a few tenths. And you hear me complaining that they didn't get caught by the safety car. But if the safety car came out 5 seconds sooner, the leading group would have got stuck behind it, and I would have had a free pit stop, and I would have been in P1. It is such fine margins, and we were very close to being in the lead of this race against all odds, being 20 seconds behind the leading pack. It nearly worked out for us with some luck in the end. We're going to put on the soft compound tyres, and we're going to come out the pits in P4, and that is going to keep us P4 when we catch up to the leading pack. But you can see on the mini-map bottom left, no one is near the safety car. There are so many people who are not caught up at all, but the safety car is in this lap. There is only 2 laps of racing left, so the safety car came in a bit early. It should have been out 1 more lap. But because there's so little laps left in the race, a lot of the drivers have not been able to catch up. And we are now going to have a great chance to at least finish on the podium, because Young Lights has got the 3 seconds, which in as tight of a field as this is at the minute, with the safety car, it is going to be a very tight finish. And I feel like unless he can like fully get away from the pack, then he is going to be in trouble. But we do manage to get underway in the safety car. We get a decent exit. Lynx is right behind us, but we are going to be burning all the battery to try and get past Hazer, our championship rival after all. It would be huge if we could finish ahead of him. But we aren't quite got enough pace. He is using a lot as well. But we do stick behind him for now. And we're going to try and send up the inside into turn 3. There's a slight bit of contact. We lock up a little bit, which is going to lose us time to the cars ahead. But we're going to try and hang around the outside, and we are going to burn all the battery. We're going to try and get ahead before the final lap. He does swipe across us and hits us a little bit, and we're going to go for a switchback as he runs deep, but we hit the back and we get slight wing damage because he covered off the switchback, which is complete fair racing. I misjudged it a little bit, but we are still in the fight to get a podium if we can stick within the 3 seconds of lights. But you can see on the bottom left, my ERS is still on overtake. I am not charging up any battery at the minute. This is a massive mistake from me. I did not realize that I still had the overtake on, which is going to leave me with no ERS going onto the back straight. I still have not realized it. It's going to be a few corners until I do, but we would have been in a great chance to get past Hazer. But you're going to hear in a minute that I am out of ERS, and I did not realize, and I'm going to have no pace to catch Hazer, and Lynx is going to attack us. Salty Stevens has got so much more because they obviously have battery. They're just going to fly past, and we're losing so many positions. It was looking so good for a minute. Viva's getting really close behind us. Lynx is holding up Salty Stevens a little bit. We're going to go for a move to try and get past. He does brake later though, but he does manage to leave us the space, and it is unlucky, but we are going to be stuck behind him. And with the little ERS that we ended up saving because we had it on for the entire second half of the lap, we had the ERS, we had nothing to defend or attack with, leaving us in an awful position. And right now it would be lucky to finish P5 because Salty Stevens' penalty is going to be easy for us to get past because we are right behind him. But Young Lights is just now too far ahead. If I would have stuck, or if I just had the ERS, like I would have charged so much more. I'm massively sold, and I've never had something like that happen to me. but it is unlucky. I mean, it just sums up what I expected to get from a result of this track. My worst track on the game, the worst track on the game to race on, and it's going to look like it's going to be a P5. Coming around the final corner, we now have 35% battery, which is what we should have had going on to the final lap, which would have given us a little bit of a chance to attack Hazer. But you hear me saying we would have been better off if there wasn't a safety car in the end. Young Lights crosses the line in P1, but he does have a time penalty, so I believe he dropped down to P2. Hazer manages to finish P3, and we get a P5, which is in and around where I did think that we would end up. But with the safety car at the end, we were so close to finishing on the podium, and it would have been really nice to have finished ahead of Hazer and Lynx, or either of them, but instead we just managed to lose some more ground in the championship. Lights did a great race. He was easily the fastest car on track. He started P17 and he finished P2. It is really impressive from him. Even though he picked up the penalty, he should have won the race. But at least Hazer didn't win, which is less points gained. But we are going to be left with all the work to do going into the next few rounds. But if you did enjoy this video, remember to like and subscribe for more League Racing content. I believe next week, I don't actually know what next week is. I think it's a mystery track, which is something new for this league. So you should be looking forward to that because it's going to be a banger. See ya.